Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cave Factory. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. It is really sunny outside, but I'm sitting inside recording a video, so dedication. Anyway, if you enjoy the videos, please do leave a like and also subscribe if you're not yet, because a lot of you I think are not subscribed, but subscribe. It's free. Just click it. I know you want to. Anyway, back to the video. So last episode, we left off with 6 crushing wheels, and I said I was going to shrink it down in between episodes, which I did, but only to 4, not to just 2. We are only using 2 to process our ores, but we still need to process cobblestone into gravel, which is going to be one side, and then gravel into sand, which is going to be the other side, and then eventually we'll smelt the sand with a rainbow furnace into glass so we can have an infinite supply of glass, because I kept running out of glass, but I realized that slag from immersive engineering can be used in a crusher to make sand. So I just tossed all of that we've been getting from steel production into there, which I have up top, and I got a bunch of sand, and now we have, how much? 2.2k glass, which should last at least a little while. Also, if you're noticing, or will notice once they get processed a little bit, we are getting ore chunks that drop on the conveyor belt. And I don't think you get to see it turn into nuggets, but they do turn into nuggets. If we go down here, we have the water flowing over it. And it's not visible through this glass, which is kind of nice because you don't see the particles, you just see things dropping down, and it looks really cool. So I think it's time we set up the gravel and the sand as well, and I'm going to do that with a bit of refined storage. We're going to link a cable all the way up here to just extract things into a barrel that's going to sit on top of here, and I think that'll work easily. Firstly, we need a little bit of breathing room up here, so I'm going to go around with the destructor and make a little bit of space. So to make this simply work, I just ran a cable over here, and we're going to put an exporter, and in the exporter we're going to put a regulator upgrade. Otherwise it's just going to export an entire barrel of cobblestone, which we don't want, and we're going to set it to cobble, and we're going to say let's do a stack at all times, right? So it's going to slowly export, and we're going to also toss in a stack upgrade. Oh, not in here. Can I delete the amount? Okay, there we go. Stack upgrade here. So it should keep a stack at all times, and it should go down into the crushing wheels and get crushed. And then gravel should start getting in here and getting into the systems. And we have it in storage, I think. So we should be getting gravel, I think in amounts of 16 so often. Nice. Okay. So we need to do a detector on this. So what we'll actually do is we're going to remove this cable. And that is a wonderful thing about exporters. We're going to set it to only work with redstone signal, to detector on top. We're going to say gravel and detect when the signal is below the amount of, let's say, 10,000 for the moment. And we can tweak it if we need to. But that's going to make 10,000 gravel, right? Because this is going to turn on. It's turning on the exporter, and it's producing cobblestone in here and producing gravel down below. And we're going to put this guy in here and this guy in here, and that way we have it designated for what it's making, and it's looking nice, and we don't have to have like drawers or whatever, and I think it looks cool. So on the other side, we're gonna have gravel turning into sand, where again, no breathing room, so give me a moment. So same thing here on this side, exporter set to redstone with a stack upgrade and a regulator upgrade, export a stack of gravel. And then here we're gonna put a detector, sand, emit when less than, hello? No? Are you gonna work? 10,000? Okay, it didn't wanna work, but it does. Okay, 10,000 things, and it's doing its thing. And we're gonna put, you're exporting gravel, put it here, and you're doing sand. So we should get sand, clay, and flint also. So that's good. Also, totally forgot about our to-do list. We have ore processing with create completed. Cool. So we can take this and put it here. And our to-do list is slowly getting smaller. I set up a few more end stone smelters, and I made a bunch of terminite, which I turned into an anvil, and I made a block of eternium, and we're going to make an eternium anvil, which we're not going to use to make the ender pearl dust, because I think it will break the same way. I don't think it's like an infinite hammer or anvil, I should say. But we can use this to make Eternium armor and stuff if we wanted to. Because this has... Hold on, how much do we have here? We have 6 and 1 and 10. And this has 4 and 3.5 and 20. At 20, I think it's the 20% is the knockback resistance, which we're immune to because of our things. So here we have 3, 6, 8. And this has 4, 7, 9. So this is turn 10. It's better. I wonder though, can we make the other, what is it called? Armor. If we do that, is it called armor chestplate? This guy. Can we make the infused one? Can we make experience opinium cores? Do we have enough stuff now because we have everything automated? Possibly. Let me set up all the recipes again. All right, we have everything but netherite and chorus flowers, which chorus flowers we can solve by going to the end and collecting them. Or I think we can toss popped chorus fruit onto mana thingies. We have some chorus fruit. We have 17. Yeah, I can just go into the end and collect a bunch manually. We don't have to set up... I mean, you know what? We have 2 cloches up there set up, producing us something right now. I forgot what it was. Sugarcane and berries. Yeah, we're going to take the berry one out and we're going to set up a chorus flower. And that'll eventually make us chorus fruit. And in the meantime, we are going to set up a tiny smeltery for netherite. I think that sounds like a good idea. Before we do that, I want to talk about the design of the base. I tend to be a very symmetrically oriented person, but on the other hand, I also love when things aren't symmetrical. And speaking of the base, like we built this to be kind of symmetrical. We have a cursed earth and blessed earth on either side. And we built this entire drawer room to be perfectly symmetrical, and it's bothering me a little. I kind of want it to be like more of a rustic factory type deal, and I think I still like the basalt. The basalt still looks good. It looks good with create mod or with the andesite casing and all of that. I don't think I want to use wood. Let me know down below. I will leave a survey poll thing in the description. And do we want to change the base or leave it as is? Because I want to make it look more like a factory because it's a cave factory mod pack in the end. And this kind of looks, it looks good, but in the end it doesn't even look that good to me, to be honest, because everything is super symmetrical and it's mostly you're looking at the same things and I want it to be a little bit different. So please do let me know down below if you want me to change this. In the meantime, since this room is kind of permanent, we're going to set up a smeltery, possibly somewhere here, maybe in the floor. I don't know. Ooh, I have an idea. So we could just stick a smeltery in a wall, add some inputs, export gold, export netherite, be done with it. No, that's too simple. We're going to do a little bit of a special thing. So imagine this little block represents a pile of gold that is going to be accumulated over here. I'm going to make it look nice and cool. And then also here, a pile of netherite blocks, which we currently have only, how many? 5, 6 total. We're going to get more of that. But a pile of netherite, or, I'm sorry, not even netherite. What am I thinking? Not netherite. We're making netherite. So a pile of this guy, ancient debris. This is what we're turning into netherite. So a pile of cinnamon, basically. Ooh, you can't even place cinnamon sideways. Okay, interesting. So a pile of that, kind of like here, something. And we're going to drop that down there onto a belt. It's going to go into a smeltery and get melted into netherite. And then it's going to get put into somewhere and stored. Whoa. We could even put a pile of netherite blocks over here and kind of have that as a storage. But I think we're just going to put it in the system because then we can expand the room this way. But I made a nice little divider, and I don't even know if I showed. These are blaze rods from supplementaries. You can place them like that. 1, 2, 3. You can make like a whole little plus kind of thing, which is kind of neat. So I've been using them all around here because they're looking really cool, and I also placed them over here. But anyway, let's get to building. Let's see how we can hook this up. We have prototype number 1 of the auto-smeltery netherite solution thingy. So what I have is a couple of factory droppers instead of chutes, because these are a little bit smarter than chutes, because they can be powered with redstone and trigger and drop a certain amount of items. So I have this set for 9 gold, and that one on the other side for 9 ancient debris. And if I push this button with a redstone link from Create, which is basically just a wireless redstone thing that I use the ones from RF Tools at the mob farm, but these are kind of really cool and I wanted to try them. If you shift right click it with an empty hand, it gets this little circle, which makes it a receiver, and otherwise it's a transmitter. So if I press this button, we drop 9 gold and 9 ancient debris on the slowest conveyor belt ever. And just to prove my point, we're gonna drop a little bit of gold here and a little bit of ancient debris here, and you're gonna see what happens when they drop in. It makes a really cool jumping motion, like that, and like that, and then it drops in the smeltery and starts cooking up. So, what I have the idea is we have a detector detecting the amount of netherite we have in the system, and once the netherite is less than what we want, it triggers a timer, which then triggers these droppers every so often and drops 9 of the things inside of here. And I want to configure the timer so that the smeltery has enough time to melt everything and put it into casts. We could potentially just put it into casts for blocks and not worry, because we're gonna toss 9 in, so we would only need, for example, 1 drain, or we could make ingots. It really doesn't matter. So I think that will work, and we can kind of have the slowest belt in the world, and we can drop multiple types of we can potentially drop a set of items. It reaches the smeltery, and by the time it reaches the smeltery, you can drop another set of items, and that one will reach the smeltery while the smeltery process the first one. I think that might work. So yeah, let's see if we can hook this up somehow. As far as the power for the conveyor belts, fans with lava is a really simple solution. It creates very, very, very little rotational speed. I do have my goggles on. 64 stress units is what it makes. So we're currently, I don't know how much each of these belts is using. It really does. Oh, 4 stress units and 4 stress units. So yeah, that's cool. We could potentially, yeah, we could put the fan in a rotational speed controller, and as long as we are up to 46 stress units, we should be fine. I don't think it's necessary though, because the belt is, yeah, it's not necessary. I'm just rambling. Anyway, let me get to some redstoning. So we're gonna start with having some ingot casts on some seared casting tables with a fluid pipe filtered to molten netherite. That way we don't extract gold or ancient debris at any point in time. And we're gonna have some item pipes like so, extracting into an interface, and we're gonna have a network receiver that we're gonna shift right click with a network card, and then we're gonna go down here and put it into our netherite smelter transmitter. And if we then head on back, we should have refined storage power right here. So for the redstone control, we're gonna put a detector down. We're gonna say emit a signal when you're above. We grab a little bit of netherite ingot. Above, let's say 1,000, right? Okay, so then we're gonna have a timer like so that is gonna trigger the redstone link, which is gonna be right here. And I'm not gonna set it up right now, and we're gonna figure out the timings a little bit later, but the timer turns off with redstone signal. So as soon as we have enough netherite, it's gonna turn off the link and stop dropping items. The next thing that we need is to run a little bit of cable over to this guy so we can start dropping in some items. And since we're gonna have a pile of items here, it doesn't really have to be too well hidden. And I think we want to see the items drop down there, so I might want to have that open. So we could potentially run it somewhere in the wall. So here we're gonna have an exporter with a regulator upgrade, and I think I put ancient debris on that side. We're gonna put gold on this side. We're gonna set it to 18 items, so we have 2 crafts worth, and we have time in between. And I should have probably just set this to ancient debris and the other one to the thing, because I had it like that before and I don't know what I flipped it. So 18 ancient debris, and over here we're gonna do 18 gold. like that. And we're going to remove the ancient debris. Have the gold in there. Okay. So this guy is going to be hooked in kind of the same way as the other one. So we're just going to go underneath here, like this, and run a little bit of cable. Like that and like that. Okay, so that should be hooked in and providing us with ancient debris. We don't need to have any sort of redstone signal on these or trigger them with redstone or anything. So we should be fine, and we can just easily cover this up. And I assume we're going to put in a wall of some kind, and we can cover this up or move it back as we need it. So that should work, right? So if I give this timer, let's say a 30-second interval, right? And if I give this a proper frequency, so that's going to be ancient debris and gold. Okay. And then we trigger this to be emit when above the amount, and let's say the amount would be 100 for the moment, right? So I think we should see items drop as soon as the timer goes around once. There we go. It just triggered. So we're having a little bit of gold drop down and some ancient debris, and the timer's going around. And I'm going to tweak it as I need it, but I think 30 seconds is a good starting point. So I'm going to wait here and see when the other things drop and if they process and do their thing. Another part of gold dropped down. This one is just coming up the alleyway to drop in. And apparently we have a cable. Ah! Oh, everything is falling apart. Give me that cable. I could just take it out of the smeltery. Thank you. So I think I picked up, yeah, I picked up the gold and the things. Okay, we'll see. We'll see it on the next round. With just, it's going in. Okay. Why did you pop? Oh, it popped out the pipe upgrades because the smeltery broke, and then it wasn't a thing that it can be connected to. Okay. So the smeltery is processing right now, I think. And if we toss the pipes in here before everything melts, so we don't extract the gold, cool, we did it. Awesome. We still need to take care of the blazing blood, which we can just do with an exporter from down here and export it out. And then we're going to have to set up an infinite storage of it. But that is working. We are getting netherite ingots. They are being extracted. It's doing its thing. And new parts are dropping in right now. And they are melting. And we have a little bit of ingot debris. Didn't I just cleared this out. I think I might have, I don't know if I picked up some. Anyway, we're going to clean that up in a moment, but it looks like it's working just fine because this is melting. It is making the netherite. And as soon as the other things drop down, in the meantime, it empties. Yeah, it emptied. Okay, cool. So everything was fine. Well, 30 seconds seems to be pretty much absolutely perfect. And it is working. And I designed a little bit of the room down there, just a tiny bit. I put in the floor and I put in a bunch of chain drives to make it look nice and neat on both sides, because otherwise you just have two chain drives right here on the edge and nothing else. So that it makes it look really cool, I think. So now we need to add in the pillars. So what we can do is we can cover everything we need to with stone, because we can put some gold in the floor as well. Kind of like, ooh, we could make it kind of like it's dripping down. I don't know, maybe, but we'll see. I'll just do something. That seems like a decent gold pile. Now time for some cinnamon. And cinnamon pile. I think it looks cool. Now I need to go and design the walls a little bit. I decided to put in some water here. You might have noticed it, but I think it looks kind of cool with the contrast to the blue and the orange. And I think I can add in another one on this side to make it look nice and cool. And then here in the middle, I'm going to see what we can do. Without covering the cable too much, I just made this wall flat here in the middle, and we're not going to have that little open hole with the cable down there. And as far as running the cable over, we're just going to do something like this and run the cable here. And we're going to hook it in if I can get there. And also have enough cable like that. I think that'll work. And then we can get rid of this guy super slowly while flying. Like so. And we can easily cover up the room. And I'm going to get rid of the one on the bottom. But I think that's going to be easiest to run it. We are going to need space for this if we want to continue the room at the same size. But I think what we can do... There we go. Simple solution. Cable down there, round over here, round on top, and over. And that solves our issue. And we can easily cover up this part and also everything underneath here. After a little bit of waiting, we now have 1280 netherite ingots, and we can click start, and it's going to use 80,000 of our iron. And actually, we have a crafting monitor. I do have a crafting monitor. I don't think we have, we can get rid of that. Magnet it. There we go. Crafting monitor. It's going. It's going to take a moment. It needs to craft 14,000 more of these. It is doing like a stack or 2 stacks at a time, which is great. But yeah, after this is done, we can make the armor. So in the meantime, if we search for infused, we need 5. I think we need the same amount, so 24 ingots of semi-stable. 10, 24. Go. Boom, that's done. And now we just wait. It's almost done. Done. Okay, cool. So if we now do this, we can craft ourselves an infused helmet, an infused chest plate, infused pantaloons, and also infused boots. Like so. Cool. And we can get rid of this, toss this on, and this gives us a whole bunch of armor things and a whole bunch of knockback resistant somethingness. Where did I put my... I put it in here. Okay, it's fine. We can toss this in here. It doesn't really matter. We can toss this away. We don't need it. I want to test this out. Let me go into... Not here. Portals. Let's go into the net here. Hi, zombified piglins. They don't hurt me that much. And I just killed them. Enderman hurt pretty badly. I think I can look at them, but if I punch him, will he... Oh, right. I have the relic where... the trinket where Enderman gets set on fire. Not just Enderman, any mob. So that's not gonna work. So this armor is super OP, even without us enchanting it. So if we get into some sort of enchanting setup that we could do, and get a lot of enchant books and stuff, that might be even more OP. And I was also looking at the Twilight Forest, right? I said we weren't gonna go do it. We're not gonna go do it right now. But it unlocks Vein Miner, or FTB Ultimine as it is called now, which could be anything that we would want. Maybe? Let me know down in the comments. Do you want me to do the Twilight Forest and get Ultimine, Vein Miner thingy in the next episode? With that, all being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I am really hoping you enjoyed our netherite or processing setup. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. You can also subscribe to get notified of when new videos go live. You can also support me on Patreon as well if you want. And I will see you all in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye-bye.